high school football, you just never know what you're going to get. Once he tucks it in, it's all about quickness, moves, and speed.
Malcolm Crispin, like he was shot out of a cannon.
Once he breaks the line of scrimmage, you got problems defensively.
Now it's Keyshawn over the right side, showing off his speed.
Harris has had the game of his life here. Give the freshman all the credit, and that was bad.
They got their money's worth here tonight. What a game here at White Stadium. Hello, everybody. Welcome to English High School in Jamaica Plain as we finish off our coverage of the regular season of BPS High School football. As this afternoon, the Tech Boston Bears are facing the Latin Academy Dragons. This game was supposed to start at 4. It's about 3:55, and the refs, I think, have early dinner reservations, so we're already going here at English High. Tech Boston.
They started turning the clocks back early, right?
That's right, and nobody else did, of course. So Tech Boston with the football here on first down. That's Leo Bozeman, the quarterback, and he is met at the line of scrimmage. Xavier Polanco there for the tackle.
Yeah, we haven't seen Tech Boston yet this year, but we've seen Latin Academy a couple of times, so we know all about them. Let's talk about Bozeman a little bit, though.
They're the starters for the Bears. Bozeman, San Giorgio, Phillips in the backfield, Jones and Ortiz, the wideouts. Jones and Ortiz are very good blocking wide receivers. That's why Tech Boston has them out there. They're going to be running the football a lot. Bozeman can throw the football, too.
Yeah, he was a converted wide receiver.
That's right.
Took over a couple of games into the season, and now he's the starting quarterback for the rest of the year.
This is his third game starting at quarterback for Tech Boston. Now on second down, the fake the handoff. It's Bozeman again. He lost the football, but got it back right around the 38-yard line. He lost the yard on first down. So it was actually 2nd and 11. He picked up a yard, so it'll be 3rd and 10 now for the Tech Boston Bears.
You see Latin Academy swarming defense. You saw that against English last week. Very well played game on both sides. But defensively, Latin Academy filling those running gaps because they know Bozeman he's like you say, he can throw the ball, but he's much more of a threat as a runner.
Trips to the top of your screen for Tech Boston. Bozeman in the shotgun now on 3rd and 10. Bozeman rolling to his right, looking for a receiver. Now tries to tuck it in and run. Malcolm Crispin coming up to make the hit. No gain on the play. It'll be 4th and 10 now for Tech Boston.
You see, Bozeman looks like a designed run the whole time. He isn't really looking downfield. There's no gaps to come into. So
Tech Boston now set to punt the football. Bozeman back to kick. Lucas Suazo back to receive for Latin Academy. Good snap to Bozeman. Knuckleball kick there from the Tech Boston quarterback, and now it's Suazo. Makes a couple of moves. Suazo down the left sideline, still on his feet, and he's wrestled down right around the 45 of Latin Academy.
Yeah, good job by Suazo. A little bit of a risk as he was able to field that spinning and bouncing ball, but tacked on a little bit of a return.
We also might have a flag on the play as nope, that's a towel from Xavier Polanco. There are the starters for Latin Academy. It's Josino at quarterback. Crispin, Polanco are the running backs. Suazo and Fitzgerald are the wideouts. You also see Michael O'Neill and Brandon Shapiro as the tight ends. So a lot of options here for Orlando Josino. Bailey Bellany not playing today. We'll get more on that from our sideline reporter Milton Posner later in the broadcast. 1st and 10 now for Latin Academy. The pitch over the right side. Polanco looking to get to the edge. Xavier doesn't have a lot of room, and he picked up about 2 yards on the play. They mark him down at the 47-yard line.
Good job by the defensive Latin Academy, Tech Boston, rather. You see them taking away Polanco's cutback area. Got about 3 yards.
Yeah, he actually picked up 3, so it'll be 2nd down and 7 now for Latin Academy. There you see Orlando Josino, 3 rushing touchdowns on the season. And as we mentioned, Bellany usually the starter overall, but Josino has also been in there for Latin Academy kind of subbing in and out as a running quarterback. On second down, Polanco with nowhere to go, so it'll be 3rd and 7 now for Latin Academy.
John DeLisis, speed number 74, one-on-one tackle. Right back to him for a yard loss. DeLisis is only, big number 74 is only a sophomore. Good one-on-one play. Some confusion on the defensive lineup for Tech Boston. Actually, I guess they're asking for the trainer. He started the game 5 minutes early. A lot of things aren't right.
That's right.
It's just not ready.
I think they might be looking at Bozeman, who's right now sitting on the Gatorade jug.
Yeah. Yeah, it says he has an ankle issue.
That could be bad news for Tech Boston. 3rd and 8 now as Jacino back to throw, looking over the right side. It's caught on the right sideline by Michael O'Neill, the tight end, and he's wrestled down at the 28 of Tech Boston.
Nice throw by Jacino. In the games we've seen so far, he's been more of a runner, but this time...
Yeah, put it right on the money. 25-yard completion from Jacino to Michael O'Neill.
Latin Academy really wants to bounce back from last week's game. Tough fought game, 12-10 loss.
Certainly some playoff implications and implications on the Boston North League title, as we had some early movement, and he knew right away because he put his face in his hands. It was Malcolm Crispin.
During the play, false start, 28 on the offense, 5-yard penalty, replay, 1st down.
So early movement there on the senior tailback for Latin Academy. They'll back him up to about the 34-yard line.
There's no doubt all the Latin Academy players are anxious. They want to get this game going. They want to get last week's loss out of their heads. And
that's right.
Because, like you said, the division right now is really in turmoil.
Sure.
Depending on how these other games go.
We'll have more on that in a minute. 1st and 15 now for the Dragons. Jacino again going to roll to his right, looking down the right side of the field for Suazo. He's got him for a touchdown. Jacino to Suazo, 34-yard touchdown connection.
Jacino put that in the air close to 50 yards, right on the money. I mean, the coverage was actually, they're beaten by like a step, but the ball was in the air long enough that they could recover, but it was right to Jacino. Right, see, it's right between the two defenders.
So Suazo with the touchdown reception. Latin Academy on top 6-0. Here on their first possession of the first quarter. 4-play, 62-yard touchdown drive, and now Latin Academy on the 2-point conversion. Jacino going to try to take it himself. He's met in the backfield by a whole slew of Tech Boston defenders.
Going back to the touchdown, I mean, we knew last week that but Bellany had gotten injured with his shoulder, so Jacino pretty much had the entire week of practice to be strictly quarterback. Because he comes in sometimes as a fullback, wing back.
Sure.
Sometimes he runs from the quarterback
Wildcat
spot.
type of formation.
So it makes a difference, especially in your mindset when you know you're going to be the one taking all the snaps.
You see Jacino getting bottled up on the 2-point conversion. That was Jepti Timoti coming across as one of the linemen for the Tech Boston Bears. The Latin Academy coming off a loss from Boston English last week. We covered that game. They lost 12-10. And, you know, they were undefeated going into the game. Boston English, one of the top teams in the Boston North with Latin Academy. So now there's actually a 3-way tie in the Boston North. Both Latin Academy lost to English. English lost to East Boston. East Boston lost to Latin Academy.
Yeah, right.
So during the week, as the kickoff bounces off Tech Boston. I think they recovered nicely at the 37-yard line. During the week, I actually got a text from Rocco Ziza, who gave me the breakdown of all the tiebreakers.
He would know it. Yeah.
He knew it. And actually, what will happen is that as long as Latin Academy actually defeats O'Brien, because they are also in the Boston North on Thanksgiving,
they'll have the better record, division record.
They'll have the better record, or I think they'll actually be tied in the division with everybody, but points and a couple other tiebreakers go to the Latin Academy. So
before last week, they're averaging, over 30 points a game.
That's right. So Latin Academy, as long as they defeat O'Brien on Thanksgiving, will be the Boston North champs. But anything can happen. This has been a crazy football season, to say the least. Now on first down, different quarterback in there for Tech Boston, as I think Leo Bozeman is.
He's putting
his shoe back on. He saw that one play and wants to go back in.
He got taped up during the exchange. Lost a 2 on that play. Be about 2nd and 12. Yeah, it's been a crazy season thus far in terms of wins, expected wins, and again, some of that I think the coaches have said it has come as a result of that fall 2 season.
Now on second down, high snap, and Tech Boston's just going to be wrapped up right around the 22-yard line. I actually believe that's Nair San Giorgio. We have him as number 8 on the roster. He was 24 last season, so some jerseys might have gotten swapped around there.
And he's in a tough position. I mean, totally unexpected to have to play quarterback.
Yeah, he has been a running back all season long.
Okay, Bozeman comes back in. Third and lost. Well, it's about 3rd and 20, actually.
Looks like it's 3rd and 22 now for Tech Boston. Bozeman back in. Looking to run away from a defender. Finds a receiver, but it goes off the hands.
Good throw on the run, actually.
And he was looking for Carlos Ortiz, the senior receiver.
Yeah, tough start for Tech Boston. It would have been well short of the first down anyway, but punching formation again. You can see Rocco Ziza really has his Latin Academy guys ready for this game.
You remember you get that first score up on your first possession, that sort of sets the tone for the rest of the game.
Yeah, especially the way they did it. Long touchdown pass.
That punt from Bozeman rolls all the way to the 44-yard line. That's where it'll be down by Tech Boston. Make that the 35. So 33-yard kick from Bozeman. Latin Academy takes over again at their own 45-yard line. Also, the other thing you have to throw into the mix, too, is next week is the playoffs that start here in the MIA. They have a new power rating system that is confusing, to say the least. We'll try to get into that throughout the broadcast as well. Latin Academy, as of now, is in the top 16 of Division 7. So they will be going to the playoffs as long as they win today. But with this new formula, you can't guarantee anything. Here comes Malcolm Crispin. Another tough run by the little guy.
Came out.
Football. Tech Boston recovers at their own 44-yard line. Malcolm coughs it up as he tried to stretch into Tech Boston territory.
He was trying for more yards, like you said. He was actually pulled out. He got to the sideline. And the one thing Tech Boston's done right is they've been gang tackling. Watch the right of your screen. As he gets toward the sideline, when they all converge, you'll see one of the players actually pulls the ball out right there.
Yeah, that's probably Nair San Giorgio. So I was wrong. The 24 is not Nair San Giorgio.
Okay. So, hey, you make your own plays. You create a turnover, get the ball back, and you have your quarterback back in the game. Yeah, Bozeman only missed a couple of plays. He was sitting right in front of us, and the trainer gave him a tape job on his right ankle.
Bozeman back in out of the shotgun at the Tech Boston 44-yard line. Man in motion. We got a high snap, but that's going to be a false start, and Tech Boston will gladly take that penalty.
Yeah, because with the high snap, that's going to be about a 10, 15-yard loss.
If not a turnover.
sometimes when the center snap can be iffy when you know you have a really ultra-aggressive defense like Latin Academy. Latin Academy, like I said, from the beginning of the game, they've been shooting all these gaps, creating no room at all, allowing no room at all for Tech Boston to try to run inside.
1st and 15 after the false start penalty for the Tech Boston Bears. And looks like we got some early movement on Latin Academy as Michael O'Neill got an early jump.
Offsides on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
So you get the 5 yards back.
So 2 straight penalties, and we're back in the same spot. 1st and 10 now for the Bears. Now it's Bozeman on the keeper and actually fought forward for about 3, make that 4, almost 5 yards. We'll give him 5 yards on the play. Heck of a run there for Bozeman.
I was just going to say, you don't usually see guys who just get taped up running between tackles. But he's actually one of their better athletes. So they're going to depend on him both with his arm and his legs. Latin Academy still got their linebackers. Crispin's always a threat to blitz.
Bozeman back to throw, looking deep down the right side. He's got a receiver. It's picked off by Suazo. Lucas Suazo now down the left sideline into Tech Boston territory. Suazo is hit at the 46.
Well, Tech Boston trying to match the long bomb touchdown by Latin Academy and just a little off target. In this case, the receiver was more to the middle of the field, and Suazo actually made a nice cut on the ball as the receiver fell down. That was Xavier Jones.
38-yard return there for Suazo.
Falls deep. You see Suazo cut toward the ball. Yeah, Jones had a tough time with his footing. Suazo's used to having some open field. The ball would be at the Latin Academy 46-yard line. Is that the first quarter?
Tough to tell, as
might be the end of the first quarter.
I think that is the end of the first quarter, folks. So we're going to have to head to break here as we just finished up the first quarter at English High as Latin Academy leads the Tech Boston Bears 6-0. We're going to head to break when we come back with the second quarter here on Game of the Week, right after these words.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
How we doing, folks? Back for the second quarter here on Game of the Week. Latin Academy with the football. They hand off to Xavier Polanco, who makes a nice cut down the left sideline, and he's going to be wrestled down at the 37.
Good tackle by Carter Phillips. But again, those sweeps, that's what Latin Academy wants to get going.
So Latin Academy with a 9-yard run there for Xavier Polanco to be 2nd down and 1 now for the Latin Academy Dragons. They hand off to Crispin over the right side. Malcolm escapes one tackler and a solid run past the 30 up to the 27-yard line. First down for Latin Academy. And our sideline reporter, Milton Posner's got an update for us. Milton, what do you have?
Hey, all right, I'm just talking to Tess to make sure the mic is okay.
Latin Academy wants to get this second score as soon as they can.
Now on first down, the handoff to Polanco. And he picks up a couple as he makes his way down to the 19.
Actually, this is the Latin Academy team we saw when they had everything running. I mean, they really had a big blowout score against Boston Latin.
Second down and 3 now for Latin Academy. After the 7-yard run for Xavier Polanco. The handoff to Polanco again. He bounces to the outside. Xavier slips another tackle. Polanco gets shoved out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Polanco's looked pretty good here in the first half, rather. And our sideline reporter, Milton Posner, has an update on a couple of injuries for us. Milton, what do you have?
Hey guys, I got a couple of injury updates for you. The first one being Bailey Bellany, normally the starting quarterback for this Dragons team, hurt his arm last week. He's out today. His arm's in a sling. They're thinking he's probably back next week, but for now they're going to start Orlando Giacino under center, as you've seen, and they're going to have a very heavy running game, wildcat formation, a lot of sweeps. The other injuries to note, Xavier Polanco hurt his shoulder on the Boston Latin side. On the Tech side, it's Army Hardy hurting his ankle. Both of them pretty minor injuries. Those guys are good to go for today, but they're still going to watch their minutes. They're going to watch how these guys respond, and they're going to play it by ear. If they need to pull either one of them, they will without hesitation. But for now, good to go. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Milton, and we'll keep an eye on Xavier Polanco. We'll see how long he stays in this game. Second and goal now as Crispin gets the football again. Tries to cut to the outside, but then is wrapped up right around the line of scrimmage.
That was actually good play by...
It's like Quamron Smith, the defensive end.
Exactly. You see Crispin running through that first attempted tackle, but... Yeah, John Herring... Yeah, Herring couldn't bring him down, but got help from his teammate.
Third and goal now for Latin Academy from the 4-yard line. Giacino gives it to Polanco. And Polanco is in for the touchdown.
Simple slant plays. Latin Academy taking full advantage of that turnover by interception. I think this is just the way that head coach Rocco Ziza would have wanted to plan it out.
7-play, 46-yard drive for Latin Academy, all rushing yards for the Dragons. They're now looking for the 2-point conversion, which eluded them on the last touchdown. Giacino over the right side. Got his tight end, Michael O'Neill, for the 2-point conversion.
They actually had 2 receivers over there, and it went past Suazo Rodriguez, and O'Neill was behind him. See?
Nice looking grab there from Michael O'Neill.
Suazo thought it was for him.
So Giacino now 3 for 3 through the air, including that touchdown connection in the first quarter and the 2-point conversion just now. We've got about 7 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. Latin Academy now on top, 14-0 over the Tech Boston Bears.
Well, coming out, we knew that there was a relatively new quarterback for Tech Boston, and unfortunately, Bozeman had that ankle problem early. But he looks like he's back. I guess he's sort of warmed up. The pass was intercepted. That was a really good play defensively. I mean,
that was. Bozeman and San Giorgio back to receive for the Bears as Bozeman fields it right around the 17-yard line and makes his way up to the 28. And that's where he'll be marked down here for the next possession for Tech Boston.
Down on the coverage, Crispin.
You know Malcolm's angry. He fumbled the football earlier in the game.
Well, he takes pride in his strength. So to have it ripped out like that, he's more angry about that too.
Folks, if you want to follow us on social media, you can certainly go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/GameOfTheWeek.Boston. A lot of good stuff up on that site, including links to games we've covered and updates on which games we're going to be covering. If we cover the playoffs coming up, then, we're going to have to kind of do it week by week, and that's where you can find out which games we're going to be covering. Finally, you can follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV as well. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. Now on first down for Tech Boston from the 27-yard line. Make that the 28. Bozeman going to take it himself on the option. He makes his way up to the 30, so a 2-yard gain there on first down for the Bears.
Option play, and Bozeman, he got real tight quickly, so he didn't take the chance of making the pitch. Short game. Yeah, down, 14-0. Tech Boston now needs some type of big play to make them feel like they're really in the game, because Latin Academy's been able to pretty much get their offense as they want it.
We'll see if Tech Boston goes to the air at all on this drive. Bozeman runs the option, pitches it over the left side. Solid little run there on second down by Carter Phillips, sophomore running back, who makes his way up to the 34.
You see the pitch? Yeah, Phillips able to get about 4 yards.
So 4-yard gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and 4 now for Tech Boston. So much more manageable 3rd down now after that 4-yard pickup.
Yeah, it's important for them to keep the ball, because they can't just keep punting the ball back to the Dragons. The Dragons have their running game going. We've seen the arm of Tocino already, so it's important for Tech Boston.
Third and 4 now for the Bears. Bozeman going to take it himself, looking for an opening. He's dropped at the line of scrimmage, actually in the backfield. Coming across there for Latin Academy.
He had a little too much hesitation on that one. He did have his teammate trying to throw a block for him in front.
There's Caleb Idahor, who's been in the backfields of many opposing teams so far this season, at least what we've seen them.
Yeah, all year. Yeah.
Makes another nice stop there for the Dragons. So Tech Boston will have to punt the football from the 38-yard line.
Well, after this punt, the pressure is going to be on the Tech Boston defense to not only prevent a score, but get the ball back for the offense. Because we know Latin Academy can run up a score.
Bozeman with another high kick. Suazo with a fair catch, and then that's going to be a penalty on Tech Boston as Suazo called for the fair catch. And, we mentioned after the spring, or rather the fall 2 season in the spring, which just confused everybody because I said fall 2 in the spring. We had some players who are younger players that just didn't get a lot of time during fall 2. Or either didn't play at all because of the fear of the pandemic. So you have some younger players who might even be juniors this year who didn't play fall 2 and then didn't really have a sophomore season. So now they're just
way
basing
behind.
on, they're way behind. And so plays like that where players just haven't been involved in a special teams play where a guy is waving off for a fair catch.
No, not only that, and all it takes is to look back to try to find the ball,
right?
Which I think is what happened.
Yeah,
because obviously he didn't see the wave at all. But it's a weird thing that it can happen when you're in cover, especially when you're the first guy down.
Right.
When you're not engaged with anybody else, you need to find the ball so that you don't give an advantage to the punt returner. That's tough break because it was a short punt, but at 15 yards.
15-yard penalty. Now Latin Academy at the 40 of Tech Boston. Malcolm Crispin on first down. Makes his way up to the 37, 3-yard gain.
Yeah, the fact that the punt was only 23 yards, that's bad enough. But then you add on 15, you talk about 38 yards. See, I mean, Crispin and I know Polanco and Crispin, they want to run inside, outside, wherever they can get the ball.
Well, we've seen Polanco a lot so far here in the first half. He was he was actually bottled up rather a lot last week against Boston English. Here he goes again over the left side. Polanco down the sideline, wrapped up inside the 25. They mark him down actually right at the 25. Another first down for Latin Academy.
Yeah, Sangerio finally got him down, but we've seen Polanco on these sideline runs. Once he turns the corner, right there, he's going to definitely add 8-10 yards. Sangerio finally wraps him up, but not until a big game by Polanco. And this is exactly the game that Latin Academy wanted. Get off to a good start, and like you said, score early.
Saw some shoelaces there. I believe that's from Malcolm Crispin, as Crispin gets the carry here on first down.
It looked like he had more room than that, but again, closing in, good job to come from the defensive backfield.
Six-yard gain there on first down. It'll be 2nd and 4 now for Latin Academy.
That was Carlos Ortiz. Right around here, you got to watch that big tight end, Shapiro. What's he, like 6'7" or something? The basketball player.
Malcolm Crispin now down on the sideline. Not exactly sure what the injury is. The handoff on second down to Harrison Fitzgerald, who makes his way up to the 11-yard line.
Again, Fitzgerald hit his first carry. Looks like Crispin's over there stretching out on the sideline.
Yeah, might be a cramp. Just saw his shoelaces earlier. He might not want to lace those up a little tighter.
It looks like he's telling the coach now he's ready to get back in.
Fitzgerald was actually marked down at the 12-yard line, so it'll be still 3rd and 1 here for Latin Academy. You know, right now, this game every year is a rivalry game between these two teams. They're both in the neighborhood of Dorchester, these two schools, and they play annually for the Mason Cup.
Mason Cup, that's right.
Former Coach Mason, who coached at Dorchester High School, now Tech Boston, and they've been playing for that for several years. Right. The last time Tech Boston won the Mason Cup was back in 2016, so it's been several years since they've had it in their building. As Fitzgerald is met at the line of scrimmage.
Big sophomore again. Good job, John DeLisis. I mean, he's Tech Boston doesn't have their sizes, but they do have him down as a sophomore.
Definitely he's a big defensive lineman.
Second time he beat the offensive lineman straight out and threw the running back for a loss.
So 4th and 2 now for Latin Academy.
Yeah, Jacino might run this himself.
Jacino gives it to Polanco.
Oh, good job. Good
tackle
job.
in the backfield that time by Karan Smith. And that'll be a turnover on down. So finally, some positive plays here for Tech Boston.
The most positive play the entire half for Tech Boston. Karan's one of their seniors. Come across in good shape and was able to wrap his arms around that waist. Because we've seen both runners for Latin Academy run out of a lot of arm tackles, but not in that time.
Smith has made a couple of tackles in the backfield so far this afternoon.
Well, like I mentioned, you had a situation where Tech Boston couldn't convert the 3rd down, so the defense would have had to stop Latin Academy from scoring to get the ball back, which is exactly what they did. Now, if they can get a big play on offense, then they'll feel like they're back in the game.
Now on first down, Bozeman back in the shotgun for the Bears. Hands off to Phillips on first down. Phillips trying to fight forward, but nowhere to go. They actually mark him down at the 18-yard line, so he picked up. And I believe they mark him down at the line of scrimmage, so no gain on the play.
Tech Boston, we always talk about how emotional the game is. In a situation like this, you're down 14-0. First half, clock's winding down before halftime, and you just want to get something going. You got to think that Bozeman won't be affected by that interception he threw on the long pass. But yeah, he has a really good arm.
4 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. Then they hand off again to Phillips. Well, Carter Phillips is nowhere to go again. He might have picked up a yard.
I think part of the problem that Tech Boston's having now is that the way that Bozeman's limping around, I don't think Latin Academy is even looking at him as a running threat. So they're keying on Bozeman or whoever else is in the backfield.
Both defensive lines have made some pretty good stops at the line of scrimmage so far here in the first half. 3rd and long now for Tech Boston, about 3rd and 9 for the Bears. Bozeman this time looking to throw with a post route. He's got a receiver up the seam. Soazo wrestles him down right around the 28-yard line, but Leo Bozeman finding his teammate up the seam that time, number 35, Leroy Reiner.
Leroy ran under that one. Bozeman gave him a good chance by putting a lot of air under the ball. Leroy just ran under it and then tacked on another 15 yards. Now that's the kind of play I was talking about. Let's see if they can go from here.
You called it, Al. Exactly what they were looking for.
You got the sideline excited, and before half, you still got a few minutes to go before halftime.
That's right.
Bozeman has a nice arm.
He does. Here on first down, it's Bozeman running the option. Now going to take it himself. And Bozeman rumbles forward to about the 24. You know, looking at, the stats over the last few games, I expected Bozeman to be basically just a runner because of the amount of rushing yards he's been getting. But then Coach Brown mentioned to us during the week that he can throw the football. Yeah. And they actually fully trust him to be a thrower, and they're hoping next year he's going to be their starting quarterback again after making the decision to keep him in there.
I'd say after a while, Bozeman's going to feel like he's wasting his time as a wide receiver. Because, Tech Boston doesn't really throw the ball as much as other schools in the city. But with someone with his arm, they can become a passing team.
2nd down and 6 now for the Tech Boston Bears. It's Bozeman again, and this time he's got nowhere to go with it.
Yeah, right now he's playing just on adrenaline. He's still got the ankle issue, but he's emotionally he's just all adrenaline right now. And like you said, Pat, nowhere to go.
Oliver Bryan coming across to make the hit. Idaho was there to help him as well.
Well, it's 4-down territory anyway, but they got 2 downs to get this last, the 6 yards for the first down.
Yeah, no gain on 2nd down, so it'll be 3rd and 6 now for the Bears. Bozeman back to throw again. Tries to dump it off for the screen. Nice job escaping the tackle. That's right on the marker there for a first down for Tech Boston. That's Nair San Giorgio. And that's going to be a first down for the Bears.
Yeah, Nair's made a couple of good plays defensively. Good job. That pass was a little over his head, but pulled it back in and then got the first down.
San Giorgio coming off the field now for Tech Boston.
He had the unfortunate play on the tackle on the fair catch, but he's made up for it because he had a couple of nice tackles when Tech Boston stopped Latin Academy in the last drive.
You always feel a little bit better after a penalty like that when the team doesn't score. On first down now, it's Bozeman. Pitches it to Phillips over the right side, and Phillips makes his way inside the 10-yard line down to the 9.
Phillips showed a real burst on that. As soon as the ball... Well, that pitch was right on time and in the right position, so it allowed Phillips to get watch this. Look at this little burst right there. He's able to get a quick 8 yards, which is hard to do in this kind of territory. You got a timeout in the field.
And Coach Brown likes the way Phillips makes one cut and goes. Yeah, the football.
The other time that he got the pitch in their own territory, the pitch was a little behind him. He couldn't really get any kind of forward motion going. But that time, caught it in stride and like I said, 8 yards is that's a big play when you're this close to the goal line. So 14-0, and I can't say you expect it, but it's not a surprise. I mean, Latin Academy has that explosive ability, and especially getting their first touchdown on an unexpected bomb from Casino. I mean, that's it just shows you what they have. They have good receivers, they're running backs, and the running backs can also catch the ball. So
that's right.
A number of different weapons, and I really think they sort of caught Tech Boston by surprise with that long pass that early in the game.
Especially considering it's Josino in there who can clearly throw the football, but Bailey Bellany was the one who was more of the passing quarterback who kind of roll out. He's got long arms. He could get the football out there, but Josino put a couple of passes right on the money like you mentioned earlier. Decent crowd on hand here today at English. This was supposed to be at White Stadium, but of course that brutal storm we had earlier in the week washed out the field at White Stadium, so they moved it over here to English. The English Eagles are actually traveling down to the Cape to play Dennis Yarmouth.
Dennis Yarmouth, that's right.
And if the Eagles win against Dennis Yarmouth, who's a good team, they're in Division 5, so they're Division up. That's going to give them more points in the power rating system, so that might help them get in the playoffs, because right now they're on the outside looking in. 2nd down and 2 now
Reverse.
for Tech Boston. And that's going to be a big loss there for the Bears.
I mean, the 8 yards on first down, like I was saying, allows you to pretty much call whatever you want. But when you call a trick play like that and it blows up, you're going to have a huge loss.
Reiner was wrapped up by Fitzgerald and Brooklyn Damage.
Yeah, nowhere for Reiner to go on that one.
Academy. Yeah, I think Tech Boston has called another timeout.
You see the pursuit? Yeah, Latin Academy is all over that one. But again, still 4-down territory, so you got 2 downs to try to get another first down.
You know, Tech Boston can get into the end zone here, cut it down to a 1-score game.
That'd be huge.
After having a 4th down stop, you know, here at the end of the 2nd quarter. They'll also, I'm sorry, Tech Boston got it to start, so they're going to have to make a stop to open up.
That's why this is even more important. You want to be closer before you give the ball back to Latin Academy.
So looks like it's 3rd down and about
the marker has 8. Okay.
Tech Boston. Ball's down at the 15-yard line. They have to get to the 7 for a first down. So 3rd and 8 now for Tech Boston. Bozeman looking over the left side. He's got a receiver who caught it for a touchdown.
Oh, nice pass.
That's Reiner again with the catch. He caught the long pass earlier for the Bears. Now catches one in the end zone. We got a flag on the play.
That's on Reiner for spiking the ball. Sometimes emotion gets the best of you. I mean, it was an excellent throw and pass. A deep out.
After the play,
Yeah.
you got unsportsmanlike conduct. 35 on the offense. Penalty done on the kickoff.
All right, so beautiful pass, smooth and good job by.
They put it right in there.
Yeah. It would have been hard to not catch that one. Well, once he got up, he spiked the ball. That's a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, and that's a penalty in high school, and I can't remember if it's a penalty in college, but, you know, unfortunately we all see NFL players do it because they're allowed to, but in high school you cannot spike the football.
Okay, so now
So Coach Brown, I believe, is actually asked. I didn't know that was an option where you could choose where you take the penalty. I would think that Latin Academy
Rocco would have wanted. Yeah, and
unless Rocco asked for this, which I'm not sure, but you know
that would make more sense because he wants to keep the 2 points off the board.
Then on the other hand, though, if you get the 15-yard penalty on the kickoff, you have time to bring it back closer. Could go for a couple plays at the end of the half. Over the middle, that one falls incomplete. And Was a little open, though. See,
Yeah, I'm telling you, they had one of the kids were open and fell down.
So it'll stay 14-6 here late in the second quarter. But a very important touchdown drive there for Tech Boston.
And this is why it's so important. They stopped Tech Boston inside the 10-yard line going in for a touchdown, which could have made it 20 or 22-0. By stopping him and then having their big pass to get them down to allow them to score a touchdown, okay, you're talking about 14-6 instead of 22-0.
Yeah, huge
big
swing.
difference. So or even if they scored, even if Latin Academy had scored, if Tech Boston comes down and says that's the same drive, 22-6 is a huge emotional difference between 14-6.
No question.
There's still one possession away.
Yeah, and as we see, they're going to be kicking from the 40. So Tech Boston.
I think you're right.
Penalty.
I think you're right. They would have been.
They would have been
25.
25, yeah. So Rocco Ziza must have asked for the option on where to take the penalty.
So these teams have been having trouble getting all 11 guys out there on special teams.
Kicks fielded right around the 28-yard line by Latin Academy. And that was fielded by number 21, Christopher Elston.
Got a tricky bounce on that one. Nelson did a good job to be able to corral that.
And it looks like that's the end of the second quarter here at English High School. So now we understand why they took that penalty, because there was not going to be much going there on the kick return. So Latin Academy on top, 14-6, but Tech Boston with that big,
big pass first. The pass coming down there, 53 yards.
But even before that, the stop on fourth down there for Tech Boston was very important there for the Bears. And, you make the stop, you get the touchdown, and then, you're just a one possession play away here with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to get back in this thing. So that was, like you mentioned before, a huge sequence for
But
Bears.
also, I think it's just as important the fact that they stopped Latin Academy on downs when they were trying to get into that third score. So that builds a little bit of confidence, because Latin Academy was pretty much doing what they want to do that first quarter and into the second quarter, getting that lead. But
that's right.
But it helps that there's now, like you said, one score. You're in the game. Your quarterback's a little banged up with that bad ankle, but he threw two beautiful passes on that touchdown drive.
He did. They put him right on the money there for the Bears. Bozeman doing a nice job through the air here at English High. So Latin Academy, meanwhile, did a nice job rushing the football there in the first half.
Oh, they'll stay with that. They're going to stay with that. We're going to see more Polanco. We're going to see more Crispin. And I think that Jacino may start running himself, because whenever he goes on the center, he's a running threat. Big fullback type of inside runner. So Latin Academy still has all those weapons. It's just that the last, 4 minutes of the second quarter was sort of taken up by the defensive stand by Tech Boston, and then that nice touchdown drive.
No question. So we'll see if Latin Academy, who gets the ball to start the second half, will continue to rush the football. And folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we will have the halftime stats, maybe some halftime highlights, and the start of the third quarter here on Game of the Week. Make sure you stick around.
I never graduated from high school. I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother.
Yes.
You, your football buddy, your football buddy. You, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like, they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Each year, there are more than a dozen significant tropical and winter storms that threaten the East Coast. So chances are there will be more hurricanes and blizzards near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
All right, Monroe, you ready? Monroe. Here we go, the butterfly. Ready? Ooh.
I am what hunger looks like in America.
I am an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for the last day of school. Because this may be the last time I'll have lunch. Till September.
I am a single father of 2 who works 3 part-time jobs, and that's still not enough to put food on the table. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Imagine being fired because of who you love. Imagine being denied medical treatment because of who you marry. Imagine being evicted because of who you are. Millions of Americans don't have to imagine this. They have to live it. Because in 30 states, it's legal to discriminate against LGBT people.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to English High in Jamaica Plain. Latin Academy leading Tech Boston 14-6 at the half. And the Tech Boston head coach, Raul Brown, is down on the sideline with our sideline reporter, Milton Posner. Milton, take it away.
Here with Tech head coach Raul Brown. Stop them from running all over you in this one. You knew it was going to be a big factor. What have you seen from your defense so far?
So I feel like in the second quarter we made some adjustments and they started playing a little better. I felt like they were picking on our defensive end, getting to the outside and getting the edge. So we're going to make a sub there, and hopefully that adjustment helps out. But you know, we need our kids to fly to the ball. But we noticed the difference from this week to last week is that everybody last week was getting to the tackle, to the ball carrier, and this week, you know, what I see now is only 1 or 2 people by the ball carrier, which I don't like as a head coach.
You guys coming in off lost 3 straight, winning 2 straight. What is it about this week strength of the opponent, or are you noticing something different from your team than what got you here?
Well, they're a good team. They're 6-1. They're one of the best teams in the city. I expect them to be really good. They got some great football players. They got a great coaching staff. So, this is exactly what I expected. A good close game. Only down one score. Better than what I hoped, and we're gonna continue fighting.
The quick last one is, it looked like Leo was maybe limping a little bit as he got through that second quarter there. What's his status going to be for the second half?
He has a slight ankle sprain, like a slight sprain. He's limping a little. I asked him if he's all right. He said he's good to go. So we'll make sure we won't run him, but we'll make sure we'll continue to play him.
All right, appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you so much.
Guys, back to you.
Tech Boston kicks off the football at Latin Academy with the return by Lucas Suazo up to the 37-yard line. Appreciate Coach Brown taking the time for that interview as his team was about to kick off. Much appreciated. Coach Brown always willing to talk to our sideline reporters. And there you see Suazo again with a solid return.
Really good job. He's really deceiving with those quick moves of his, like the stutter steps.
Yeah, Coach Brown even mentioned how good Suazo is, as we was talking to us earlier in the week. Really likes the way he plays. And I think he would actually fit in nicely on Tech Boston with the way that they're throwing the football.
Exactly. So it gets those long strides, but also he has, like I said, the stutter steps that I think to throw the tacklers off as they're trying to break down to get him.
First and 10 now for Latin Academy from their own 38-yard line here to start off the third quarter. It's Malcolm Crispin with the carry. And Crispin drags the pile up to about the 45-yard line. All 5'8", 160 pounds of Crispin brings it to the 45. Folks, we're going to take a look at the halftime stats here before we get going to the third quarter. And first up, it's Tech Boston.
Tech Boston, Phillips, 13 yards. Bozeman, the quarterback, with 10 yards before he hurt his ankle. Reiner, 2 catches for 68 yards, plus the touchdown. Santorio with 1, and Bozeman hanging in with that rolled ankle of his, 74 yards passing.
Another give to Polanco as he explodes down the left sideline. Xavier into Tech Boston territory. They mark him down at the 47.
That's exactly what Coach Brown said he had to get his team to stop doing, giving away that edge.
Here at Latin Academy's halftime stats.
Polanco had 50 yards on 8 carries and a touchdown. Crispin, 35 yards on 6 carries. Suazo got that 34-yard touchdown to open the game. O'Neal had 2 catches for 28. Justino doing an excellent job, 3 for 3 passing the ball.
They actually marked Crispin down at the 49-yard line. Now on first down, it's Crispin again with the carry. He makes his way up to the 45. So a 4-yard pickup there on first down for Malcolm Crispin. It'll be 2nd and 6 now for the Latin Academy Dragons.
Yeah, the Tech Boston defense has got to keep pace. Latin Academy is trying to really quicken the pace of this game.
Polanco getting the carry here on 2nd down, and the Bears.
That's exactly what Brown's looking for. He's looking for, shoot the gaps to keep Polanco from getting outside.
Coron Smith and Janelle Drummond, the linebacker, coming up to make the tackle.
And Del Cease, 74. It's the 3rd time we've called his name.
It's a loss of a yard on the play. It'll be 3rd and 7 now for the Dragons. A handoff to Crispin. Malcolm Crispin picks up a first down and more. Crispin still on his feet, straight up the gut. And Crispin finds the end zone. Touchdown. Latin Academy, what a run by Malcolm Crispin.
We talked about them being explosive. We saw it earlier this season when they rang up 41 points in one game, but this one right up the middle, like you said, Pat. Good cut. Watch him cut. He's going to make a cut right here. And this is all speed. I mean, he did have Ortiz diving at his legs, but once he missed that.
46-yard touchdown run there for Malcolm Crispin. Dragons now looking to tack on the 2-point conversion. Justino over the middle with a big tight end, Shapiro, and he's got it for the 2-pointer. We mentioned the big 6'7" tight end that we've seen incorporated into their offense the last couple of weeks, and there you see what they can do with him with that big size.
Oh yeah, well the first game we had him, he could get a touchdown. It's similar. He just sort of maneuvers his way in front of the cornerback or in front of the safety, and Justino keeps the ball high, used that length.
You see the touchdown run.
See, once Ortiz misses him right there, it's all over because he doesn't get run down until he's already past the goal line. So that's the way Latin Academy wanted to start the half.
No question.
I mean, it seemed like they picked the pace up. They were in and out of their huddles a lot quicker.
Salaza with the kick down to the 12. It's fielded there by San Giorgio. And Nair makes his way up to the 28-yard line. Make that the 27, excuse me.
Yeah, good job by Nair as he trying to find a place to make a big return, but get what you can and then get the offense set up. Yeah, you got to be impressed how Latin Academy just...
That was a heck of an answer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think they were stunned when they were stopped inside the 10 for that on that drive, lost it on downs, and then gave up a touchdown. But you're right, they answered just the way you want to.
So Tech Boston takes over, down by 2 scores here at their own 27-yard line. Run on first down. Looks like Carter Phillips with the carry up to the 30. Excuse me, that's Nair San Giorgio with the carry.
Yeah, Nair's getting a lot of action on both sides of the ball.
They actually marked him down to 29, so just a 1-yard gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 9 now for Tech Boston.
Yeah, they're switching out their wide receiver. Yeah, Tech Boston's trying to find some plays that Latin Academy hasn't seen yet.
2nd down and 9 now for the Bears.
Yeah, it's going to be offside again.
Yeah, that's a free 5 yards there for Tech Boston as Latin Academy couldn't hold their water.
Well, they're so anxious. They know if they make a big play here, force a 3rd and long, they can get the ball right back. You see the right of your screen, you'll see the track.
Yeah, it's the whole line.
Yeah, they were just they were coming.
There's also times when the center might do something when they don't hike the ball, but it's something very slight that the ref doesn't see.
Sometimes
but
it's
the player's
just
right
squeezing
there.
it. Yeah, you don't even move, you squeeze it.
2nd and 4 now for Tech Boston. Much more manageable as they give to Carter Phillips. Phillips fights forward to the 35-yard line. So 1-yard gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and 4 now for the Bears.
Not much in there. Phillips, one of their faster players, but that time just no room.
See if Tech Boston can keep this drive alive here. 3rd and 3 from their own 35-yard line. Bozeman looking to throw the football. It's almost intercepted. He's looking for his running back, actually, Carter Phillips, out in the flat. Pass was tipped and almost picked off by Latin Academy's Christopher Elston.
Yeah, a little high, but catchable.
Tech Boston looks like they're going to punt the football.
Yeah, and those running plays on the 1st and 2nd down got them in a little trouble. And again, you got Bozeman, the quarterback, who's a good runner, but he's not 100%.
Bozeman's been punting most of the game, too. Now it's Carter Phillips in there to kick. Or if that has something to do with the Bozeman injury as well. High spiraling kick that's going nowhere and is actually down by Tech Boston. That's going to be a net of about 3 yards on the play. And that's, again, because Bozeman is banged up. I believe they have Carter Phillips in there to punt.
Right. Yeah. That's again, it's a tough break for watch this. He gets his steps. Yeah, it looks. Oh, he just got too much of his foot. Just got too much of his foot. It was straight up in the air.
It's actually down at the 33, so he lost about 1.5 yards on the punt. as it bounced backwards. So you wonder, too, in the future, if they can't go with Bozeman as a punter, they'll probably just go for it on 4th down if it's close.
Might as well.
Malcolm Crispin getting wrapped up in the backfield. Karan Smith again coming across for the tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
We haven't seen a whole lot of success coming against Smith. Smith did a couple of one-on-one tackles in the first half, same way.
2-yard loss on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 12 now for Latin Academy.
Matter of fact, Polanco's big run to the sideline was on the left side.
That's right.
And Crispin's big run was straight up the middle. But most offenses are right-handed, so they'll still be running into the same side where Smith is.
They run Sawazo in motion. They run the end around with Sawazo. Crispin with a good block as Sawazo tries to escape a tackler, but just a 2-yard gain on the play back to the original line of scrimmage.
Good job that time. That was Noel. That was Junior Noel. Watch number 6. Right at your screen. He's going to come into the play. Crispin trying to block. Noel did a good job. I'm sorry, that's number 5. That's Ortiz.
Carlos Ortiz there for the stop.
Back to shotgun.
3rd and 10 now for Latin Academy. Jacino rolling to his right. Smith got in there, might have tipped the pass. Sawazo comes back for it, makes the catch, escapes the tackle, and is in for a touchdown. 2nd touchdown reception of the game for Lucas Sawazo and Latin Academy.
Well, that's a perfect example, Pat, of stay with the play. The ball was tipped. Watch this, tipped right there, and that's why it's fluttering like that. It's short, definitely. And Sawazo, because he stayed with the play, he jumps when no one else jumps, and the 2 defenders are totally out of position. Stay with the play.
Orlando Jacino now 5 for 5 with 98 yards and 2 touchdowns for Latin Academy, both to Lucas Sawazo.
And I've been calling him a fullback all year, right?
Yeah, me too. Well, you know what? His coach has been calling him somewhat of a fullback. Now on the 2-point conversions. Jacino going to take it in himself, and he does not get in.
He wanted to make it feel like a football game for himself.
That's right.
He's used to taking a bunch of hits. But can you imagine that? Backing up and going 5 for 5 with 2. And this one was more on the receiver because the ball was deflected. But the way he comes back for the ball, then has the moves to skip away from 2 defenders. That's obviously a backbreaker for Tech Boston.
No question. Another touchdown tacked on there for Latin Academy. They're now on top 28-6 over the Tech Boston Bears.
All that good feeling from the end of the first half is
wiped away.
Just gone.
You also got to think for Latin Academy, it's sort of a sigh of relief after a loss last week.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's helping them. They've been aggressive since the beginning. Now you have miscommunication.
Yeah, it's fielded by San Giorgio after they figured out who was going to return the football.
Now it was strange. They looked like they were talking to each other, but neither one went for the ball. They're shaking up Tech Boston player. San Giorgio a little shaken up. See, both players let the ball bounce, and San Giorgio finally gets it and gang tackles.
So San Giorgio looks like he's going to be okay. Tech Boston with a steep hill to climb now as they were marked down at the 10-yard line after the miscommunication on the kick return. Down by 3 scores. They were able to pick up some good plays through the air thanks to the arm of Leo Bozeman. Bozeman again back to throw. Had some pressure, almost intercepted.
Twice. A deflection off of the linebacker, then he also hit the ball hit one of his teammates.
Nabiu Kasey initially had the chance at the interception.
That was actually deflected too. See, initially right there, and then he had the other linebacker had a chance.
Oliver Bryant.
Yeah.
Boy, as a defensive player, if you get a chance to catch the football, when you don't do it, it's just...
Oh, that stays in your mind.
Yeah. You're waiting all year for a play like that. But sometimes, especially deflection, it happens so fast. Your brain almost doesn't act fast enough.
Yeah, there has to be some luck involved. Yeah, no doubt about that.
Second and 10 now for the Tech Boston Bears. And they hand off to Phillips on first down. He's got nowhere to go. So no gain on, actually a loss of 2 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 12 now for Tech Boston.
Yeah, it's just a tough situation all around. You're backed up almost to your goal line, and other than that, the one big pass to set up your touchdown, you haven't done a whole lot. Even though, like I say, he's doing a good job. The quarterback, Bozeman, with the bad ankle. His receivers have had a tough time getting open.
We saw a nice shot there of the Latin Academy faithful. They brought a pretty good crowd here to Boston English. Now on 3rd and 12, Bozeman rolling to his left, looking to throw the football. Flutters it out there, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Latin Academy. I think that time it's Christopher Elston who comes up with the pick. He had an opportunity at an interception earlier. This time he takes advantage of it. So both Suazo and Elston now with the interceptions for the Latin Academy defense.
Yeah, it's just a jump ball once it's in the air like that, and you see it's just fighting for the ball. A tough angle for the receiver because he was surrounded. Reiner was actually surrounded by 2 defensive backs.
The Dragons now take over at the Tech Boston 26-yard line. That's Harrison Fitzgerald on the carry. And as we mentioned before, Xavier Polanco coming in with a banged-up thigh. He actually hurt it in practice, I believe, yesterday. So after the 5-yard carry by Fitzgerald, I don't think Polanco's going to come back in this game, especially with the score.
That would sort of be a surprise. I mean, he's on the sideline. Like, he wants to come back in.
Sure. Oh, he wants to come back in.
But he's
no question about that.
He's making sure that Coach Ziza sees him.
Now on 2nd down, it's Malcolm Crispin with the direct snap. Makes his way up to the 22-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and less than a yard here for a first down for Latin Academy. No, they remark it as a yard. So 3rd and 1 here for the Dragons.
Well, we saw the Dragons earlier this season beat Boston Latin, 41-8. So they're capable of big scores, and they were in the 30. They were averaging 30 before the English game.
Orlando Giacino on the quarterback keeper, going to take it himself, and he rumbles down to the 12.
That's one of the players we expected to see, but haven't seen much at all. He's been throwing the ball so well. Yeah.
It's only the 3rd carry of the game so far for Giacino, but that one picks up a first down for Latin Academy. Clock's got to be winding down close to the end of the 3rd quarter here at English High.
And, you know, when you think about it, maybe the best part of this game for Coach Ziza at Latin Academy is that they don't have to rush back Bellamy as the starting quarterback. They don't have to worry about changing their passing game either.
Malcolm Crispin with the handoff, getting to the edge, touchdown, Latin Academy. When you look at this Latin Academy team, and they just have so many options offensively.
Well, yeah, and we talked about the speed with Crispin, and he had a cramp earlier. Okay,
right.
He stretched that out. He's back in the game, and here you go, because it was all speed. It looked like the defender had an angle on him, but just couldn't quite bring him down.
Malcolm Crispin now is 60 yards on the ground for Latin Academy. Lucas Suazo is on to try to convert for the extra point.
Playoffs coming up. You never know when you need to maybe try for a short field goal.
That's right. Suazo has the leg. We'll see if they can get it down. And Suazo, it's close, and he hooked it.
Yeah.
Went off wide left of the goalpost.
Not many kickers in the entire City League, actually. There's Malcolm. We've seen him plenty of times use that speed of his. And he's tough to bring down. You're not going to bring him down just with one arm, that's for sure.
So the touchdown there for Latin Academy and the 2-point conversion. Our sideline reporter Milton Posner has got an update for us. Milton, what do you got?
Hey guys, a lot of parallels between this season and last season for the Academy Dragons. Started with 4 wins, and they were not bringing the right energy. This
having a problem there with Milton's microphone. We'll see if we can get that figured out as we're just set to start, I believe, the fourth quarter here. They just turned everybody around, so it is the start of the fourth quarter here at English High. .153 yards between both Polanco and Crispin so far here in this one. You add that to the couple of Suazo catches, and Latin Academy's been putting a lot of yards up of offense here through the first 3 quarters.
Well, we've known they had that 1-2 punch all season. So this is the kind of game you want to have when you're getting ready for the playoffs.
Solid return there for Tech Boston as they make their way up to the 40-yard line. Once again, that's San Giorgio with the return for the Bears.
You see San Giorgio.
And our sideline reporter, Milton Posner, is going to try one more time. Milton, what do you have for us?
Hey guys, coaches like to talk about peaking at the right time of the season. It's gotten to the point where it's a cliche, but for this Dragons team, it's more meaningful than you'd think. Last season, they go 4-0 in their first 4 games. They're cruising, they're playing brilliantly. Week 5, they come out, and as head coach Zizza said later, it was like they stopped running the marathon halfway through. They lost their last 3 games, and that was the season for them. This season, they came out, won 5 games in a row. Lost the next week against Boston English. So coming out this season, playing as resoundingly well as they've had, it was a need. It was a must-win game for them this week, and so far they're doing brilliantly. Came in 174-69 in points combined over their first 5 games, and they're delivering the kind of beatdown that we expected from them through the first 5 weeks. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Milton. And absolutely, this was a must-win for Latin Academy, because with this new playoff formatting system where, it's a power ranking system, so, you can't necessarily help. One of the factors that goes into the power rating system is who you've played. So if you've played a bunch of teams that have records that are below 500, it hurts your power rating system. There's not much you can do about that part of it, but the amount of wins you get is the only thing you can really
control.
So, for Latin Academy, you just got to win this week and see what happens. They're right now, before this week's games, as AAC Phillips was able to hang on to the football after initially fumbling the pitch. After this, before this week's games, Latin Academy is in the top 16 of Division 7, which means they will be playing in the playoffs next week. If they win today, it sounds crazy, but there is a chance they don't make it because of other teams that are playing that are ahead of them.
Higher seed, yeah.
Exactly. They're playing teams in higher divisions. Now Tech Boston, if they lose today, will drop to 2-4. So that actually hurts Latin Academy's power rating system because of the record of their opponent.
It's almost like high school trying to emulate what was on in college with the power rankings.
With the BCS formula, which nobody's ever complained about ever. Bozeman down the right sideline. He's got another receiver. So Bozeman in the passing game is working this afternoon for Tech Boston. That time for the Bears. Coming up the catch, number 27, Xavier Jones.
Xavier did a good job to come back for that because that was fluttering in the air too, as you see. But Jones does a good job to come back for it. Nice catch.
"35-yard connection there for Tech Boston from the quarterback Leo Bozeman to Xavier Jones. So now the Bears in Latin Academy territory at the 41-yard line. You know, if you coach Brown, you're like, let's put a good drive together here. I know we're down by a lot, but Bozeman, he's got time, throws over the middle. That one's going to be almost intercepted, then almost a reception.
Caught again, right?
Christopher Elston was looking for his second pick of the night. Had a really good chance at it.
Just didn't get enough on that one because you had your receiver actually was behind, and you got just didn't have enough on it that time.
Yeah, Leo Bozeman now 4 for 11 through the air. He's got 109 yards passing.
Only completes the big ones, huh?
Yeah, right. Very much a feast or famine passing game here for Tech Boston so far. Folks, you want to follow us on social media, you can go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/GameOfTheWeekBoston. Also, if you want to follow us on Twitter, go to @BostonCityTV on Twitter. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. Early movement. I think that's good. Oh, it's offsides on Latin Academy.
Yeah, Latin Academy.
5-yard penalty. Second down.
Came across. That was De Leon, junior lineman trying to get in the backfield quick. Watch, middle of the screen, 71, and it's next to him, both of them. Yeah, Xavier Jones almost had 2 big catches. He actually had gotten behind the safeties, and so when the ball was deflected, he was too far away. He tried to dive back and couldn't make the catch.
So after the incomplete pass, 2nd down and 5 now for the Tech Boston Bears. Bozeman almost had another completion there as he was looking for his receiver once again. As number 35 for Tech Boston, Leroy Reiner, was unable to hang on to it.
You see, getting some pressure, had to throw it a little off balance. Yeah, Reiner couldn't quite pull it in.
They hit that screen with Reiner earlier in the first half. Bozeman's really limping. This is the most we've probably seen him limp so far.
Yeah, see, the cold weather's getting into that ankle now. I mean, the adrenaline will take you so far.
Right.
The tape job takes you so far, but once it gets cold.
Once those two things run out and the cold air kicks in.
Oh, yeah.
It's like walking on stilts. 3rd and 5 now for Tech Boston. Bozeman again trying to run the screen. He hits Phillips this time. Phillips gets wrapped up right around the 25-yard line. That's going to be a first down for the Bears.
Good effort. Because Phillips was definitely hit short, so it's up to him to make something, watch him spin. Once he gets it, screen pass. Okay, pulls it in. Runs through one arm tackle, gets hit right there. Now he has to spin and dive for the first down. Good job. And the thing about football is, when you're on the bad side of a lopsided score, you just want to score whenever you can. And that's the reality of it, especially for young players.
Bears trailing by 4 scores now here in the 4th quarter. Bozeman.
Yeah,
well short of his receiver that time.
I think that ankle is not allowing him to really set his feet to put a zip on the ball.
Yeah, he was looking for Xavier Jones.
Yeah, his receiver was open that time. The tough part is that Bozeman hurt it. He hurt it so early in the game. He came out for a couple of plays, got retaped, got his ankle taped, and then went back in. He's been different levels of limping back and forth. Doesn't help that every play he comes to the sideline.
That's right. You wonder if they could send a running back instead that bring the replay play. But then you run into that thing where sometimes a player gets told to play, and they run out to the huddle and they say, and I'll tell you, that happened to me in freshman football, so I sympathize. Now you have a couple players who forgot the snap count.
That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Yeah. Running back.
That backs up Tech Boston back to the 30-yard line. It'll be first and 15, or second and 15, rather, now for the Bears.
Yeah, all these teams will be looking at the papers or be online tomorrow to see what everybody else did and where they land.
Bozeman looking for another receiver that time, staying on his feet was Xavier Jones, but I think that's going to be illegal contact that time.
I'm surprised it came from the back judge.
Leroy Reiner, I think, actually started blocking Jones before Jones even caught, or blocking for Jones before Jones even caught the football. That's such a timing play where, you used to see the Patriots, especially with their slot receivers, run that all the time. Where as soon as they make the catch, you have the other receiver blocking.
It takes a lot of practice.
It does.
A lot of practice.
It's all based on timing.
It's a tough break, but that was actually they're set up pretty well. But like you said, the block and the illegal block was definitely there.
See a few options. Third down, extra 15, or fourth down.
Yeah, Rocco Ziza now has an option. He can let it go to fourth down and it'll be a shorter yardage, or it'll be third down and a much longer yardage. The play was actually completed.
During the play, offensive pass interference. A 15-yard penalty, replay, third down.
So the replay third down.
Okay, so you see the contact right there. They could have called block on the back. I guess they called interference because they're both in the same area, but it looked more like a block on the back.
Coach Brown not happy with the call. 15-yard penalty, third, and we're going to say 27 now for the Bears. Bozeman looking down the left side for his receiver and well short. Like you mentioned, with that ankle, it's hard to plant.
You can't. That's clear. I mean, he was throwing very nice passes in the first half. Here in the fourth quarter, he's just not getting enough on it. And you have to plant, and that's the tough part about it. You got to plant. You got to be able to plant your foot and really get some zip on the ball.
So that'll be fourth down for Tech Boston. It looks like Phillips back to kick once again for the Bears. Phillips bobbles the snap, and very similar kick as he had last time as it bounces backwards. Tech Boston gonna down it right at the line of scrimmage, so no net gain on the punt there for Tech Boston. I'm actually surprised Coach Brown didn't just go for it. I mean, they had the short punt last time, almost exactly the same. I know it's fourth and a mile, but you're at midfield.
Well, no, I think you're right.
Tough call.
But it is a tough call, and he's thinking you got to get something on the punt. But it's give the ball to Latin Academy at the 40-yard line. He didn't expect that. He expected some kind of yardage on the punt.
That's right. So Latin Academy will take over at their own 41-yard line. Jacino still in there at quarterback. I believe that's Christopher Bell on the carry there on first down. Excuse me, Christopher Bell Barrett.
Simple handoff just to kill some time, make some yardage, just give some backup players some playing time, because you never know when you might need somebody.
Well, we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Xavier Polanco with a banged-up thigh. Yeah. And if he's out, you know, you could see somebody like Christopher Barrett or one of these other younger running backs getting some time in the backfield during playoff time.
Yeah, we saw Fitzgerald get a couple of carries earlier. And there he is again.
Fitzgerald getting the handoff. It's actually in for Latin Academy is Jack Shapiro, just an 8th grader. He's actually the brother of Brendan Shapiro, who's now in at quarterback at number 12 there for Latin Academy. Coach Ziza is actually very excited about Jack Shapiro when he gets a little bit older. He believes he's going to be the next real good quarterback at Latin Academy.
Well, he'll definitely have enough time. I mean, talking about 8th grader.
Barrett getting the handoff here on 3rd down and nowhere to go with it. So Orlando Jacino and Bailey Bellany, both just juniors this year, so they'll probably be the 2 starters next year, and then Shapiro will probably take over as a sophomore a year after that.
Interesting. And in the meantime, you look at the roster. He's 5'9", 135, yeah. 130.
So he's got some work to do.
He got plenty of time
in the weight room and at the cafeteria.
Yeah, exactly.
Sawazo with a punt. This one sky high, knuckleball. That's going to be down at the 40-yard line. Not the greatest punt from Sawazo, but you never see him with the play that we've seen Tech Boston with the last couple of punts. And you got to think for Latin Academy, you know when you put your punter out there that he's going to at least try to flip the field a little bit with Sawazo back there.
Oh, it's great to have those experienced players. There's no the value is just, coaches smile all the time when they think about their juniors and seniors who played for a while, especially the exam schools. Exam schools, you can play as an 8th grader. So, you know, I know in some cases they've had hockey players play as 7th graders.
No, that's right, yeah. You think about football and hockey, too. The games are so physical that it's hard to imagine guys that young being able to play at the high school level, but it does happen.
If you're lucky to get your physical development early enough.
That's right.
Yeah. Some kids are lucky, others aren't.
We see Idaho again making the tackle. Anytime he makes a tackle, there's a lot of energy out on the field.
Oh, definitely. And we've talked about him all season, actually, because he is an underclassman himself. He's only a 9th grader.
So Idaho, just a freshman. They'll have him for 3 more seasons.
I think this will be a couple more plays and that's it. Because with the Federation rules, even on penalties, the clock still runs.
2nd and 11 now for Tech Boston. And again, it's Idaho coming across to make the tackle. With about 3:30 left to go here in the ball game. It's San Giorgio with the carry for Tech Boston. Gain of 2 on the play, so it'll be, looks like 4th and 9.
Well, coming into the game, we talked about the explosive offense of Latin Academy that we've seen all year, except for last week when English was able to hold them to just 10 points. But they're back to what they were doing. You can see it on the sideline. The entire team, they're cheering for their backup players who are coming in, teammates, underclassmen. Well, they've, we say, righted the ship.
That's right, or at least steered it back in the direction they were looking to steer it. Bozeman trying to run the screen, and Phillips couldn't hang on to it. Yeah. That screen's been open. for Tech Boston.
Well, yeah,
they just kind of get it together.
Yeah, the Latin Academy front is so aggressive. They're trying to deflect passes or get sacks. That one was thrown a little too short.
That's going to be a nice little connection, though, for next year. You have Phillips, who's just a sophomore this year. He'll be a junior next year as a starting running back. You got Leo Bozeman, who's a junior this year. He's going to be a senior as the quarterback. And you got a couple other receivers who are just juniors. So Tech Boston's going to be, it looks like they're going to be much better next season with, as long as all these guys come back.
I was going to say, the key is stick with the program.
That's right.
Do your off-season work.
That's right.
Work out in the summertime. Do what you got to do to get better when the season starts. And we've seen it over the years. The strong programs who are consistent have that kind of commitment from their players, starting as early as 7th and 8th grade.
That's right.
You got to do it. Yeah, they have an entire backup unit in there for
5-yard penalty, replay.
For Tech Boston.
4th down.
One too many men on the field that time for the Bears. Like we mentioned, Xavier Jones, he's a junior right now. He'll be a senior next year. San Giorgio's a senior, so they'll lose him and they'll lose Quoran Smith defensively, which will be a big loss for Tech Boston after he graduates.
Yeah, huge loss.
Leroy Reiner, just a sophomore. So you got a lot of backs and receivers who are coming back with your quarterback who will be a senior next year. Phillips again with that punt. That time it travels 5 yards, his longest punt out of the 3.
That's a good point you're making about Tech Boston. I mean, it can turn around. Reiner's had a good game. He had that big pass catch in the first half, and he's been pretty stout as a linebacker. Just when you have so many inexperienced players like Tech Boston, and a Latin Academy team is going to really give them a hard time. I think Tech Boston is missing a player.
Yeah, referee's trying to help out the Bears right now.
Well, each team can use the ball they want to use. So Latin Academy can pick the ball, but I think the officials might have thrown the wrong ball to the sideline.
I think things are now in order. Chains are set here for Latin Academy. Probably going to kneel on it. Victory formation here for the Dragons.
That's it.
So that is going to do it here at English High in Jamaica Plain as Latin Academy is able to hang on to the Mason Cup one more season. The Dragons defeat Tech Boston 34-6 over the Tech Boston Bears in this annual neighborhood rivalry. Latin Academy hangs on to the Mason Cup for another season. The Dragons finished the regular season at 6-1, one of the best records in the Boston City League. And now the Dragons will be heading home and waiting to see what the power rankings are and where they seed in the playoffs. It's going to be very interesting. A lot of moving parts to this whole thing over the weekend.
Quite frankly, it's just confusing. But in the end, the formula is supposed to, the goal is that the formula matches up the most deserving teams against each other.
Right.
That's the goal. But because there are so many divisions, and like you said, the rankings, they try to be objective, but in some cases they're subjective. Because some teams just are having bad seasons. They have a lot of injuries. Other teams have gotten hot, play well, like we talked about Latin Academy, starting out 6-0 into that game last week. So it's, for the players, like you said, it's anxious. Because if you're 6-1, you expect automatically to be in. But like you said, there is a scenario that they wouldn't be. So
That's right.
They got to hope that some other things happen this afternoon and later on tonight. They'll secure their position.
That's right. I mean, this power ranking system rewards teams who play a tough schedule, but the way that the numbers are configured, you know, you look at some of these teams in the Boston City League. Charlestown had to forfeit their season. Now, that still counts as a win. You still get some points for it, but it's very different than gaining a win against a team who's actually having a season. So there's just all these different factors that are out of teams' control that, you know, people are going to talk about, you know, during the playoffs, after the season, and going into next season as well. So we'll see how things shake out here for the Boston City League teams who are trying to get into the postseason here in the fall of 2021. Latin Academy takes down Tech Boston. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have our player of the game and our final stats here from English High School in Jamaica Plain right after these messages. Don't go away.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like, they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Each year, there are more than a dozen significant tropical and winter storms that threaten the East Coast. So chances are there will be more hurricanes and blizzards near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
All right, Monroe, you ready? Monroe! Here we go, the butterfly. Ready? Ooh.
I am what hunger looks like in America. I am an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for the last day of school. Because this may be the last time I'll have lunch. Till September. I am a single father of 2 who works 3 part-time jobs. And that's still not enough to put food on the table. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Imagine being fired because of who you love. Imagine being denied medical treatment because of who you marry. Imagine being evicted because of who you are. Millions of Americans don't have to imagine this. They have to live it. Because in 30 states, it's legal to discriminate against LGBT people.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to English High School at Jamaica Plain at the conclusion of Game of the Week. Latin Academy defeated Tech Boston 34-6 to finish off their regular season at 6-1. They're normally a rushing team, but they did a lot through the air tonight. And, you know, it's really seemed like Lucas Suazo, the senior receiver, really made a lot of great plays.
Oh, no doubt. Right. And the quarterback, like you mentioned, backup quarterback, which we call a fullback all season.
That's right.
Showed us that he's not only a passer, but a deep passer.
That's right.
And he had to have somebody to throw it to.
That's right. And Suazo was the man to catch those footballs. He also had an interception defensively. Lucas Suazo is our player of the game tonight. He is down on the field with his head coach, Rocco Ziza, and our sideline reporter, Milton Posner. Milton, take it away.
Hey guys, I'm here on the side on player of the game, Lucas Suazo. We're going to talk to head coach Ziza in just a minute. We got some very happy teammates here. But Lucas, first off, this was a rebound game for you guys. You guys lost your first game of the season last week. What was it like to come in here and get a win this big?
They were dancing off the field, and we needed to get this win. We need to go to states. Team win all around. Proud of these guys. Big touchdowns, 2 touchdowns from this guy right here. I'm proud of everybody. We were down, but we didn't give up. We didn't give up, and I'm just proud of these guys, honestly.
And you mentioned Orlando, these 2 touchdowns that he threw. I'm going to ask Coach about him in just a second, but what was it like for you playing with Bailey Bellany not playing? What was it like playing with a new QB in there today?
Oh, man. Orlando, I trust this kid, man. He makes good throws, good decisions. Nothing but trust in him. I love that kid, man. He stepped up first year playing football, and great things from this kid so far, so I'm pretty proud of him.
And last one, you said it's a good team win, but for you as a senior to have a game this big down the home stretch of the season, what does it mean to you?
Just looking to continue this in states, honestly. So, yeah.
All right, man. So you enjoy this one. We got Coach in here just a quick sec. All right, Coach, you had to go, with Bailey out, you had to go to Orlando today. What can you say about him and the game that he had?
No, he's been playing a lot the entire year, so it's no big surprise, and we're ready for it. We have pretty good depth, and we were prepared at 3 levels, so we're ready to go no matter what happened.
What were the keys to rebounding in a game like this after your first loss of the season? You came out and you ran him off the field. What was the strategy going into today?
I think we didn't play well the first half, so I'm not sure about that. But again, hopefully our best football is ahead of us. So that's what we'll concentrate on from here on in.
And as you mentioned, with states on the horizon, what are the things you think you guys still need to improve? What are the target areas for you to get better?
Oh, we had a situation in the first half where we had the ball 3rd and 2 on a 10-yard line. We didn't get a first down, and 2 plays later they ended up scoring. So things like that, good transitional football, and we have to be much more complementary regarding offense, defense, and special teams.
Gotcha. Coach, thank you so much. Guys,
Didn't even let Milton finish the sentence.
Too excited. Hey,
that's right.
That's youth.
But Latin Academy knows that they're in a very good position to get to the postseason. We don't know just yet who's going to be getting in there, but you got to think Latin Academy at 6-1 is going to get in there in Division 7. And but you know
they'll represent Boston well.
Absolutely,
they definitely will.
And you heard Coach Ziza in there, and he was talking about how you come away with a big when it's a lopsided score, but he has a lot of things he can point to the team to in practice and say, hey, we didn't execute this well despite winning 34-6, and that's something I think coaches like. heading into playoff
Oh,
games
definitely,
like
because you have to assume that in playoffs you're going to be not only unfamiliar teams but very good teams.
That's right.
And they may be very organized and do well. So you, like Rocco said, you've got to be ready. And of course, he's going to point out that segment right before halftime of the first half when they didn't get that fourth down, turn the ball over, and then gave up a touchdown.
That's right.
That'll be the one thing that he'll think about. Never mind the 34, think about the 6.
That's right. And because he knows you can't do that in a playoff game if you expect to win. Folks, we're going to take a look at our final stats here from English High before we sign off. And first up, it's going to be Tech Boston.
Yeah, Tech Boston, tough game all around. Bozeman rolled that ankle in the first quarter. But rushing, he ended up with 10 yards. His running mate Phillips had 9. Receiving, Jones had 40 yards with three catches. Reimer had the touchdown of the game with 2 catches and 68 yards. Bozeman ended up with 7 for 17. Fourth quarter, when he couldn't really plant his foot, didn't get much on the ball, but did get 121 yards total.
Let's take a look at Latin Academy's final stats.
Latin Academy, Polanco didn't play much, like you said. He sat out at least midway through the third quarter for the rest of the game. Ended up with over 100 yards with 11 carries and 2 touchdowns. Crispin had a touchdown, 11 carries, and 60 yards. Then receiving Suazo, our player of the game, 2 catches for 67 yards and 2 touchdowns. O'Neal, the big tight end, was able to get 2 catches for 28 yards. And Justino, 5 for 5, 98 yards and 2 touchdowns thrown. When do you ever see a line like that? 5 for 5, 100%, both and 2 touchdown passes. I'll tell you. Well,
a very impressive stat line there for Orlando Justino, and the passing game was working tonight for Latin Academy. We'll see if they carry that over into hopefully the postseason next week. Folks, I want to thank you so much for joining us here on Game of the Week from English High School in Jamaica Plain. Once again, if you want to watch this game again, first of all, you can go to our website. Go to www.boston.gov/cable. Scroll to the bottom of the screen. Click on Game of the Week. That'll route you to our video library. You can watch all the games we've had so far this high school football season. You can also go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/Game of the Week Boston. We've got a lot of good stuff up on that site, including links to all our games on YouTube and updates on which games we're going to be covering. Playoffs are coming around, so every week we're going to have to make a decision as to what games we cover. So make sure you visit us there. And you can also find out all that information if you follow us on Twitter. Go to @BostonCityTV. And if you want to tweet at us to ask a question, to give us a comment, use the hashtag BostonGOW. Like we mentioned, playoffs are coming up next week. We're not sure exactly who we're going to cover just yet, but we will let you know as soon as possible. But for right now, we're going to say so long from English High School in Jamaica Plain. We'll see you next time on Game of the Week. Have a good night, everybody.